Hey there, welcome back into Occupy Democrats. And we know that Donald Trump lacks the empathy gene, but you have to wonder sometimes just how far his sheer heartlessness can go. And in this breaking story, it was never more prominent and never more put on display than by what he did to a completely defenseless human being during his State of the Union address. And I'm going to show that to you in a few moments because, man, you have to grasp his level of depravity when it comes to trying to play a straw man tough guy only over those who are completely defenseless. Not a real shock when you remember that he said this about his ICE actions right here.
Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough.
Because this is Aaliyah Ryman and who she is and what happened to her in Minneapolis.
January 13th, on the way to my 39th appointment at Hennepin County's Traumatic Brain Injury Center, I encountered a traffic jam caused by ICE vehicles and no signs indicating how to get around it. I had not wanted to pull into a blocked, chaotic intersection, but verbally agreed to do so and rolled down my window after an agent yelled, "Move! I will break your effing window!"
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Then the glass of the passenger side window flew across my face.
But Trump plays a tough guy to women all the time, right? This?
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out.
I yelled, "I'm disabled," at the hands grabbing at me, and an agent said, "Too late."
But Trump tries to sound so tough when he has a stage like this.
And you should be ashamed of yourself.
But there's the truth of what really happened.
An agent pulled a large combat knife in front of my face, which I thought was for cutting me.
And he'll just continue to have others do his dirty work for him.
You said, if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard.
But this is the real visual.
Shooting pain went through my head, neck, and wrists
Shame.
when I hit the ground face first, and people leaned on my back.
And now I'm going to threaten you with the military.
What does that mean, send more than the National Guard?
Well, if you had to send in the Army or if you had to send in the Marines, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Can you try to imagine for one moment being Aaliyah right here?
I felt the pattern, and I thought of Mr. George Floyd, who was killed 4 blocks away. I was carried face down through the street by my cuffed arms.
Shame.
And in the end, this is how she was left.
And legs while yelling that I had a brain injury and was disabled.
I'm pretty sure in this breaking story, it's Trump who should be ashamed.
You should be ashamed of yourself, not standing up.
And the irony of this breaking story is Trump pegged her, they identified her, and they literally removed her for actually standing in silence. Check this breaking story out. Woman severely injured by Trump's ICE suspects she was targeted for removal during SOTU. Aaliyah Rahman, a disabled woman with autism from Minneapolis who was severely injured by President Donald Trump's immigration forces in January, claimed on Thursday that she was targeted for removal from the president's State of the Union address. Rahman attended the address as a guest of Representative Ilhan Omar, DMN, who claimed Rahman was aggressively handled while she was escorted out of the House chambers. Rahman was later charged with unlawful conduct for allegedly standing in silent protest during the speech, a claim she denied during an interview with CNN's Jake Tapper on Thursday. Rahman added that she wondered whether she was targeted for removal because she's spoken out against the Trump administration. "I think you do have to ask that question, right?" Rahman said. "I can be kind of a cold, logical, autistic person sometimes, and what I am seeing is that the people to either side of me are standing up, and not just standing up, but they're making noise. I was actually quiet. So if the issue is disruption, I'm not aware that anybody on the floor even knew I was standing up." Rahman spoke out against the Trump administration during a hearing in early February about how immigration and customs enforcement officers treated civilians in Minneapolis. She told the committee of all Democrats that the officers who dragged her from her car tore the rotator tendons in both of her shoulders, which prevented her from using the cane she needs for mobility. She also described the horrific conditions inside the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis. "The only thing I'm known for is giving testimony about what I saw inside the Whipple Center," Rahman said. If that action right there does not sum up all of who Donald Trump is, the human being from which he emanates at all times, nothing else does. You take a completely defenseless, random, single female in a car who then also tells you she's disabled. You harm her further, break her car up, get her out, and then when a representative from the other party brings her to the State of the Union as a guest, you make sure your boys know about it ahead of time, and the second she rises from her chair, you have that already injured woman removed from the building, not saying a word. That is so on brand, Donald Trump. You should be so proud. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if Ivanka ever stood up to her father and said, "Shame on you, Dad." You guys like and share the video and stay frosty.